spent years trying to figure out what I was supposed to do, and nothing ever really clicked. That changed when I started working with my hands. That's where I found purpose and where everything started to make sense. And I think for a lot of people, that's not something we really stop and think about. I know what it feels like to be searching for something you want to do, something that feels right, and never really having that clear moment of, yeah, this is it. That was me for a long time. In high school, everything's about what's next. What are you going to do? What are you going to become? And honestly, school doesn't really help you figure that out, especially if you don't fit into a clear path, or what I would say is the entrepreneurial mindset. I still follow the traditional route. I went to college, studied business administration, did what I thought was supposed to do, but something always felt off, like I hadn't quite found my thing yet. And for me, that turning point came in a way I didn't expect at all. I found surfing, and surfing ended up leading me somewhere completely different, into building surfboards. For the first time, I was working with my hands. I was shaping something, creating something, taking raw materials and turning it into something real. And I didn't fully understand it at the time, but it gave me something I had been missing. It gave me focus, it gave me purpose. From there, I went deeper into it. I started learning design, technical skills, eventually went to trade school for woodworking because surfboard and woodworking are closely connected. That led me into cabinetry, furniture, CNC work. I even worked in shops, learned different systems, and eventually found my way back into the surfboard industry. But this time things were different. I was working with a CNC, more automated processes. And I started to realize something. Even though I understand how valuable that technology was, it started to take something away from the craft. It took away that hands-on process, the connection to the work. And I realized that part mattered more than I thought. Around that same time, I started moving in a different direction. I got into video production, storytelling, marketing, because one thing I struggled with as a craftsman was I knew how to build things, but I didn't know how to share it or grow something from it. So I leaned into that. And over time, that became my career. Now, about 10 years later, I'm a lead video producer. But through all of that, I never stopped building. Not once, because even though my career changed, that feeling never went away. And over time, I started to understand why. Working with my hands teaches you things that you don't even realize you're learning at first. It's not just about the final result, because if you really think about it, that moment when you finish something, it feels good, but it doesn't last very long. What actually stays with you is everything in between. The mistakes, the problem solving, the adjustments in figuring things out. That's where the value is. That's where growth is. And I'll be honest, when I first started this channel, it wasn't like this. I was trying to be another woodworking channel, posting builds, trying to figure it out like everyone else. And then life happened, becoming a dad, going through harder seasons, just being busy and trying to keep up with everything. And I had to step away from it. But in that time, I had space to think, to reflect on what this actually meant to me. And slowly I started creating again, starting with Instagram, finding a way to be consistent, just showing up again. And I realized something. If I was going to come back to YouTube, it had to be different. Not just showing what I build, but sharing how I think about building, what it's actually given me. And I'm still figuring that out, still growing in it, but I felt like it was time to start again. So if you've been here before, I appreciate you sticking around. And if you're new, you're coming in at the start of something new. And hopefully we can grow this together. That's really why I started The Right Angle. Not just to show builds, but to share what building can give you. Because working with your hands is more than just making something. It's learning how to think, learning how to adapt, learning patience, learning how to trust yourself. And in a world where so much is digital, fast, and disconnected, there's something powerful about creating something real, something you can see, something you can touch. And now being a husband, being a dad, having one kid and another one on the way, I understand something even more clearly time is limited. There's always something else you could be doing, but that's exactly why this matters, because even in small moments, even a few hours here and there, you can create something meaningful. You can learn something. You can grow. And I think that's something worth holding on to and something worth passing on, because there's something about working with your hands that I don't think we should lose. So if you're starting out, don't wait until everything is perfect or figured out. I'm the master of this. Just start building something, because that's where everything actually begins. So with that, let's get to work, not just with our hands, but with how we think about building.